Well, today I have the pleasure of speaking with Theresa Stairs, President of Versant Corporation, doing business as LaserQuest, and also Vice President Jeff Morris is here. And I want to thank you both for talking with me. Let me start by asking you each, how long have you been with LaserQuest?
This is pointing at me. I get to go first. I was hired on November 21st, 1993. So this is my 26th year with LaserQuest.
Very nice.
Yes, and I started in May of 1997, and so I'm on my 22nd year with LaserQuest. And Jeff actually trained me way back when I first started because he was here and was already a general manager. And I started in Detroit, Michigan, and Jeff was working in California, and he came to Detroit and trained me when we opened a center in Clinton Township, which isn't there any longer, but I had opened that location.
See, and now the student has become the master because she's my boss.
Well, very nice to see such history, especially with a company that has been around for as long as LaserQuest has. Wonder if you can both maybe just share a little bit about the history of LaserQuest as a company.
One of the best stories ever, and people have heard it in the past, is that the founder of the company, Greg Thompson, who was our president for years before Theresa, flew to England looking at a business opportunity. And he said, I've heard about this virtual reality thing. And he would stop on the street and he would ask kids, hey, where's this virtual reality place? And they would say, oh, you mean LaserQuest? And he'd say, no, I mean this virtual reality place. They'd say, well, we don't know. Move along, old man. And he'd keep asking kids, where's this virtual reality place? And they kept saying LaserQuest. So finally he said, I'm going to go to this LaserQuest and see what it's all about. And he went in and fell in love with the game. You can describe it in the terms of, it's so energizing and so fun and so exciting. You can also describe it in a little colder terms. It's age neutral. It's gender neutral. Anybody can play. It's got an element of health to it. I think we like to look at it as both. We love the game because anybody can play. But we love the game because everybody that plays has an amazing time. So Greg brought it back from the UK, and we opened a location in late 1992 here in Toronto. And I've opened tons of locations across North America since then.
So Toronto was the first in North America?
LaserQuest Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Which you'll be dropping by later on today, I understand.
Yes, absolutely. And home office right here in Mississauga. So very cool to see that and to get to experience this from that side. What would you say really distinguishes LaserQuest from other laser tag systems?
The system itself, we make our own equipment here. So when Greg had gone over to England, one of the things that he did is develop a relationship with the people who were over there already using some laser tag equipment in a LaserQuest model, and then bought the rights to North America and founded it here. He kept in touch with them and kind of developed a relationship. We ended up moving a couple of those people in terms of the technical knowledge here and hiring them on here. And as a result, we were able to really upgrade our equipment, have the best technology, and get it to a point where we were really happy with it. Over the years, we've continued to develop it, and really our goal has always been really to make it very sturdy and playable for all ages, not too complicated, and not something that was going to break down on a regular basis. We want people to come in and have an amazing experience every single time they play, and that means that the equipment works every time they play. So that has been our goal with our equipment, which is why we don't turn around and sell it to other people. A lot of equipment that you might come across, those people are selling the equipment, but then they're also making money off the repairs. We don't do that because we're trying to keep our equipment as solid as possible. The least amount of repairs needed, the better. We do, however, still sell our equipment to the people at LaserQuest International. It's really the UK now. They've separated that. So the people that still have LaserQuest franchisees overseas, we still sell our equipment to them because we had a relationship with them. But other than that, we don't sell it. We don't sell it otherwise. So I think that's been a key component. The other component has been the experience itself. And, we were talking recently about why we're in business. And although LaserQuest is the venue, laser tag is the venue of being in business, a lot of us work here. A lot of us love the business and thrive off of it because of what we can do for the customers. I mentioned to you earlier, worked for Pizza Hut it's so hard when you work in a business like that to please everybody as they walk out. You know that some people don't like certain foods or whatever, and not everybody's going to love what you do. It's very rare people walk out of our buildings and not love the experience. And so, every time we go to a center, we get re-energized. Jeff recently got an opportunity to work in a center again. You watch people's smiles on their faces and how much fun they're having with their families and the memories we get to make for them. That is special to us, and that's really why we're in business, and that's why we want our equipment to work. That's why we want every time you come in to play that it's an experience. It's not just laser tag.
Absolutely. And on the note of the equipment, I know that there were some new packs that were unveiled not too terribly long ago, and I wonder if you could talk a little about the new packs and anything that they do that might differ from the previous version.
So we did change them up a little bit. We had a big meeting and talked about all these things that we could do, and in the end, because our goal is really to make it as easy as possible for the customers to play at all ages, so sometimes 7, 8 years old and 80-year-olds that have never played before. We don't want to complicate things, so we tend to upgrade the boards. We tend to take a look at, can we make the equipment lighter, but not so light that it feels chintzy, those kinds of things. And so we've been able to upgrade the ponchos to be a little bit lighter. The material is micro antibacterial. The HHUs are, so handheld units, the lasers are clear now. As a result, we want to look more family friendly, more fun. We are totally against violence, and so everything we do is family friendly focused. So some of that stuff has been the updates, batteries and that kind of thing. But the more recent thing that we did about 1.5 to 2 years ago was introduce the LQ Arena app. So our equipment now works with an app, and you track things. You can earn badges, accomplishments, and free games at Laser Quest. We were pretty excited about that when that came out, because it advanced us a little bit without changing the equipment so dramatically that it was going to change our ultimate goal of making it easy for everybody to play. And there's people out there that have amazing equipment. Other manufacturers have really, really cool stuff. We just find it really makes it complicated for our 6 and 7-year-old day camp or schools that come in. So we're trying to kind of cater to all age groups, and that's why we have it the way we have it.
I remember being in a competitor in 1996, and they said, "Oh, you should become a member." And I said, "Oh, well, what's that?" And they go, "Oh, it's $20. And we're going to give you all this extra stuff. We're going to give you shields, and we're going to give you blasts, and we're going to give you all this cool stuff. And you're going to have a better chance to win." And I said, "So if I pay you, you're going to help me win games?" And their pitch was, "Yes, that's right." And I said, "Well, that's lame. I don't want to do that." And that's one of our challenges that philosophically, as Theresa mentioned, our goal is to keep it simple. So when you walk in and play a game for the first time, it's everybody for themselves. You can have as many lasers as you want. You can be hit as many times as you need. You can blast as many people as you want. Away you go. We don't have the bases turned on. We don't have the replenishers turned on. Just go in there and have fun. Nothing's going to slow you down. And some people extrapolate from that we don't have bases or replenishers or team games or limited shot, limited life games. We have none of that stuff, which is all untrue. We can change any of those things. So it's funny to watch people that have played for 1 or 2 or 3 years, and then suddenly they play a Highlander or a Dracula game, and they go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize you could do these kind of cool things." So our strategy of keeping it simple, I think, works at the beginning, but we have to help people get down the road of we can make it more complicated when you're ready for that.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that you both brought up LQ Arena and members, because I've had some recent discussions about where members fit into the picture. Is it a pro or a con to have memberships? And the LQ Arena is, in my opinion, something of a hybrid of that, because it gives you the benefit of tracking some stats. But do you consider that a membership, and how do you feel about the idea of members?
We love the concept of having people that want to come and play all the time. Frequent players, passionate players. We love that. We didn't love the fact that we were charging people. Our most passionate members, we were charging them to be those people. So we thought maybe we could come up with a hybrid. Maybe we could come up with a way we say, look, if you want to play Laser Quest and you really like it, get this app. It's free. And if you play a bunch, you get free games. You'll get a discounted rate without having to say, why don't you give me some money up front? and you can buy yourself a discount going down the road. Because that felt a little shady, and people didn't seem to want to do it. So we were trying to find something that people liked. And the people that we've talked to that sort of have embraced Laser Quest Arena absolutely love it. Like when I was in this center a few weeks ago, there was a group of 4, a family that came in, and they played 3 games, and they were all free because they were redeeming stuff that they played. So I think we like the concept of members. I think the former membership sort of framework is a little outdated, and that's what we've tried to address with Arena.
Now, with the locations themselves, are all your locations corporate locations as opposed to franchises?
They are.
You have an interesting business model that's different from just about everything else in the laser tag industry right now, it looks. And I'm just kind of wondering how it is or why you opted for the business model rather than selling the gear as you were talking about. But I just wonder if there was anything more that went into the thought process to keep everything corporate.
I think, just like any other business that's trying to build a brand, as soon as you start franchising, already it's hard enough we're geographically spread out. To really provide a consistent experience across the board. And as soon as you start franchising it can screw up your brand quite easily because people can start doing whatever they want. It's harder for people to manage and all that kind of thing. So I think part of it was to protect that branding. And although you can go to different locations and they look different, they all have similar basic Laser Quest terminology and mission control and briefing and all that. Everyone looks a little bit different, and so we were able to create that uniqueness, the franchise look, I guess, without doing that. And we were looking for certain people to work in our locations, and as soon as you start franchising, that changes because someone else gets to choose those things. We want that experience to be not just laser tag, and you can lose sight of that very easily when you start doing those things.
It's, as Theresa mentioned, it's no different than any other business. Whatever franchise you pop into, whether it's a restaurant or a retailer or an entertainment facility, some of them will be amazing. They will be so much better than the average corporately owned store. Unfortunately, there'll be a whole bunch that are not as good. And I remember going to a franchise where they locked the emergency door shut. That doesn't seem very smart, but their home office didn't know that. It was just a decision that the franchisee made. So we tried to get away from that. We did franchise locations for a short period of time, and we ended up buying almost all of them back so that they're all corporately owned now.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
1998, I think, was the last one 98 or 99.
Recaptured, I don't know.
And how many locations for Laser Quest are there worldwide and also in North America?
Oh, you ask such difficult questions. I think we're at 45 North America locations right now, and the UK, France, Spain, and Germany number fluctuates a fair bit. Last time we checked, I think it was about 30 in the UK, and 30-ish in Europe that wasn't the UK.
Excellent. Well, out of 45, I just want you to know I've been to 21 of them so far.
Well done.
Texas
Well
will be
done.
number 22.
Excellent.
And I look forward to every future experience I have at a Laser Quest, and I'm just kind of curious about what do you see as the future for your brand, your business, and Laser Quest as a whole?
Ooh, tough one. People ask all the time, my father years ago said, why are you getting in this job? You're going to be there for a couple of years, and you're going to move on. And I said, maybe, but it's super fun and it's super awesome. I'm in university. I really like it. There's always kids that are having birthday parties. There's always people that are looking to get out and connect with their friends and do something that's both social and a little physical and a little competitive. One of the things that I think has hurt not just our business, but all kinds of businesses, whether it's restaurants or bars or other entertainment venues, is this millennial malaise where 20-somethings are disinclined to go outside. They get Netflix and they order in Uber Eats and they just sit down and they do nothing. And kids are sitting down playing more and more video games. And I think there's an opportunity for not just Laser Quest, but for all kinds of venues to say, look, if you want your kids to be able to connect with people outside of a computer, let's get them out and socialize them. If you want to get them to stop being so sedentary, let's get them out and doing things. And I think Laser Quest is a great thing to do. So hopefully we'll be able to leverage that a little bit and continue having people come in and have amazing times.
Oh, terrific. Well, you've given me a lot of terrific information here, and I just wonder if either of you have some final thoughts or anything else that you'd like to share.
I was just going to tack on to Jeff's thing. We have said many times, do we need to upgrade things? Do we need to go further? And I think when you look at bowling alleys in particular, it's a similar thing where they kind of never go out. They just kind of reinvent themselves all the time. And every day, Jeff and I are having conversations. How can we reinvent ourselves? And in all honesty, when you look at what we have in place, if we can get all of our locations to do exactly what we have in place, then people have amazing experience. I mean, every week we get these amazing testimonials from customers saying, oh my gosh, this employee did this and this employee did that. And it's so rewarding for us to see those, but also for the employees. So, the employees themselves really, even at 16 and 17-year-olds with part-time jobs, they really love the job so much and what they're able to do and what difference they're able to make. I just see us continuing down that road and just continuing focusing and reinventing ourselves, finding new ways to really make the experience upgraded and make sure people continue to have a blast. I mean, I was telling a story the other day. My mom's 68 years old and took her sisters who are just a little younger than her and my sister and niece and nephew, and they all had a blast. And my sister said my mom turned into a little kid. She's hiding around corners, and that's awesome. Like, for people to come in and play at any age and still feel like a little kid, that's what it's about, and that's what we're trying to do and we'll continue to do for years to come.
Absolutely. Jeff, anything else you'd like to share?
You know what? It's so challenging with kids today to get them interested or in anything except their phones. And I mean, Theresa talks about having adults come be kids again. Like, I'm happy when kids are just kids. And we did it's called the QFK, the Quest for Knowledge. It's a school-based, curriculum-based learning program. And I don't even know if I told you the story, Theresa. When I was in Sunrise a couple weeks ago, I was presenting the content. So there's a slideshow, and I'm droning on about things, flipping through the PowerPoint, and it was quite boring. The kids were checking their phones and going to sleep. But I was angry, but there's nothing I could do about it. But we had an experiment set up. And it said, flip the page, dear Jeff, start the experiment. Oh, okay. So I had these kids have a laser, so they got to pew pew and try and make the laser beam hit another child's hand. And they did that, and they were, they went, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they had to do it in a mirror. And the kid holding the mirror was trying to twist it and turn it and make it work, and they couldn't get it to work. And then another kid got up and helped them move the mirror, and then the laser beam hit the other kid's hand, and like all the kids cheered. Like, that's amazing. Like, that these children are engaged with, our game, humbly, our game as a vehicle to learn and to get better at school. So, I don't know. There's so many things that bring people joy, and so many of them happen at Laser Quest. So I'm just happy that we can be part of that.
Well, excellent. And I thank you both for taking some time and for the wonderful welcome you gave me up here in Mississauga. And I'm so glad that Laser Quest will be a part of my journey when I make my way to the 50th state in Texas.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.